I don't like being around friends who are more successful. I get jealous.
Right.
That's the hypothesis we're working with. I guess it's a really natural human feeling.
Yeah.
Where you might love your friends, or there might be sort of friends who aren't your kind of inner core friends, but their success, you find it triggers something in you. And even simultaneously, you might be happy for them.
Yeah.
Morrissey had a song which is "We hate it when our friends are successful," and I think there's a line, and especially if they're northern, which I can relate to. What do you do with that?
Well, I just think, firstly, what are we idealising of their lives when we look at them?
I guess it would normally be material. It would be they're earning this much, they've bought this, or they've managed to buy this house. It might be their family unit. They might have married well, they've got kids. It might.
Yeah.
I guess what it sort of looks like, everything's going to plan, and that becomes a mirror back at yourself where you think, well, my career's not going that well at the moment, or I've not met someone, or I'm kind of being left behind. And whenever you see them, that's a kind of
pressing on that in you.
Yeah, because these are people who are at the same stage as you. You might have grown up together or gone to university together, so it's not like they're older and they've got more years on the clock than you.
Mm.
Do you just kind of say, yes, I do feel jealous. Yep, this is jealousy. This is what it feels like.
Yeah, and actually, I think there are two different. There's definitely a space for that, and it's also, sometimes this is a bit of a grief. Like, it's okay to grieve for the fact that you are not where you want to be or where you imagined that you might be, because it's a loss in a way. It's a loss of a hope, of a dream that you have for yourself at that time in your life. That's one part of it. But if we stay in that place of like, I'm not where I want to be, I'm not, it kind of, it keeps us stuck, because then, it kind of brings in a bit of shame and a bit of like, I've not achieved, I've not got where I want. But then what are we comparing ourselves to? Like, success is so multifaceted, isn't it? Like, you could have all the money in the world, in the most amazing looking marriage, but you don't know what the costs of that are. I
guess the rational part of your brain knows that, money doesn't bring happiness, but it does take away certain worries, or you don't know what's going on behind closed doors in anyone's marriage, or you don't know whether they even like being a parent. The rational bit of your brain knows that, but the irrational bit is, oh God, I'm so jealous.
But I think there is space for that, and it's definitely good to acknowledge it. But don't stop there. Like, don't walk around in that feeling. Don't let that just be where it ends. Because then we just then we're kind of almost feeling like a victim of ourselves or the world or our historical decisions. Instead of, it's important then to kind of look forward and think, well, what is it about their lives that I'm attracted to? What is it about theirs that I deem success that I want? Is it actually their joy? Is it their sense of happiness? How much of what I'm wanting might be an assumption? Like, they might have it all, but what might the cost be? Just to kind of de-idealize it a little bit, but then also to take control yourself and make, sometimes it is a case of actually just making a plan, thinking, what do I want? Like, why do I feel stuck?
Almost trying to turn it into a positive, as in, okay, this is interesting. It's triggered these feelings that perhaps reinforces to me that I do want to meet someone, or I do want to move my career in this direction. What can I do about it? Yeah.
And sometimes even, writing things down is actually really powerful, because we kind of reprocess it in a different way. And there has been kind of research done that people that have written down goals and like visions and like things that they want for their future are much more likely to be kind of their decisions subconsciously kind of shaped by,
That isn't all bollocks.
No.
Okay.
No. Because it kind of, it sets intention. And I think, life is just so busy. We often end up kind of quite passively making decisions because we're stressed, and we don't have the time to kind of sit there and actually consider and plan. Like, what do I want for my life? Like, what steps might I be able to take in kind of moving closer towards that, or at least making space for that?
In terms of the dynamic with a friend, maybe within the bounds of the friendship, I guess it might work as well to kind of just be kind of honest and take the piss. And it's just like, mate, I'm really fucking jealous of your house. This is going to impact our friendship. I don't think I can ever come there, or, you know.
But name it. And I've had friends that have really struggled with pregnancies. And, you know, when I've been pregnant, you know, I've just said, look, let's just, you know, it must be really hard for you to see me pregnant. You know, and kind of just naming that there's probably going to be envy there. And then it kind of just makes space for it. And it doesn't hold so much power anymore. Do you know what I mean? We kind of like hold these things internally. They just start shaping the way that we respond to that person, the way that we feel when we're there in their house or whatever it is that we're kind of idealising.
I suppose a good friendship will be robust enough.
Oh, yeah.
And if it doesn't, then that's probably a sign that maybe you've drifted apart.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the other thing you could do, I mean, as I understand it, amongst vervet monkeys, the higher up the food chain you are, the more serotonin and I think testosterone you have. Essentially, you know, bigger fish, to mix up the animal metaphors, bigger fish in a smaller pond makes you happier. So you could just replace your successful friends with losers. Does that work?
Oh, it depends how much you like your successful friends. I mean, that's a very interesting technique. I hadn't heard of the monkeys.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I think the best thing to do is ultimately, if we feel that we are making positive decisions, if we are being intentional about the way we're living, if we feel like we're able to take some kind of control, you know, it kind of increases that sense of, you know what, I'm okay. I can shape this a little bit. I do have control, rather than feeling a victim of comparison. Really, that's what this is. It's like I'm comparing my life to your life, and I'm coming off worse. And thinking about what have you done? You know, what successes have you had?
Write them down, maybe.
Write them down. Have a look at them. You know, and actually, some people would probably massively deem those successes as the successes that they'd wish they'd achieved.
Your book, if it sells better than mine, I think it might affect our friendship.
You're going to be checking me up on the Amazon charts.
Go on, let's give it a plug. What's it called?
Mind Over Mother. It's Mind Over Mother. It's about anxiety and motherhood. It's about saying, you know, we feel anxious. Let's not normalise these things. Because when we normalise any of these things, what we say is like, well, there's no point in doing anything about it then. We become a bit, well, I've just got to deal with it. I've got to deal with these feelings, when actually there's always so much more for us.
Sounds like a bestseller. Whereas mine's called Who Stole My Spear? How to Be a Man in the 21st Century.
I need to read that.
Or in the American audience,
it's called
Future Man in America. I didn't like the Spear title. So yeah, I'll be watching that. I'll be watching the Amazon charts very closely.
Oh.